New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Cynthia, Rev Julie, and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Ta-da! We're here. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the High Vibe Hour. It's Friday. I'm Rev Skip. I am an author, a teacher, a yoga instructor, and I'm dancing because it is Friday, Friday, Friday.
I'm Reverend Julie Moret. I am a teacher and speaker at the Agape International Spiritual Center. Thrilled to be here.
And I'm Reverend Cynthia. I'm also an author, coach, and speaker, and I feel like I'm just remembering what it means to be me. So I'm looking forward to today's talk.
It's a doozy. It's a doozy. And as we do every week, we do our little catch up because it seems like we spend this time here to really kind of tap in. But that week that we were away, things be happening. So I'll jump in because I normally like to hear y'all first. I'm so excited. I got a juicer, y'all. And now I've had many juicers before. I've gone through, I still have a Vitamix. I still have the Magic Bullet. We should be getting some sponsorships from these crew. But I got a cold press juicer that takes it. I'm going to show my little cold press juice thing here. Takes anything you put in there, fruits and vegetables, and you can start, and it presses into this wonderful, delicious experience of goodness. I've been like creating these incredible concoctions for juicing this week, and I have been in my bliss. It's great when you can go, okay, I'm feeling this, and I'll do a little quick prayer. What do I put into my juicer today? And I'm hearing tangerines, and I'm going strawberries. I hear a little watermelon. I'm going, really? Okay, let's see what happens. And I put it in there, and I'm going, wow, that's awesome. It's so amazing. So it's one of those things that we get to play with. So I've been playing with juicing this week. Do y'all have a juicer?
I just wanted to say something. I love that it's almost, it sounds to me like you're tuning in and allowing spirit to let you know what vitamins, what minerals, what the things are that your body wants. And then you're juicing it. Like, that's so cool and exciting. And I used to juice a ton. Like when I was pregnant, oh my gosh, I would go to the farmer's market. I would get every single thing that they had and I'd put it in the Vitamix. And I was like swigging back these like huge containers of everything. And it usually tasted pretty gross because it was just like all the greens and all the things. So that was like, I was way on it then when I was pregnant, and I kind of have slipped off of it because I just toss stuff in my shakes, but I haven't really been juicing. So you're inspiring me to pull out that Vitamix because it's been a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And we asked earlier, what's the difference between a cold press and another juicer? Is the processing of the fruits and the vegetables where they take it and they press it and it keeps cold and it keeps the nutritional value. All the vitamins are not missing anything. When you heat up a mixer, it shifts the components and the makeup of the vegetables. So the heating process removes a little bit of the nutrition. Not a bad thing at all. Listen, it's not a judgment. Juicing is great for you. In fact, it has been known that juicing saves lives. People who experience different diseases, not a disease, a disease, can shift their body, their mental aspect, their physical. So, Reverend Cynthia, do you juice?
I haven't done it in a while. I have a juicer. It's not a cold press juicer. But it doesn't sound like, and I have the Vitamix as well. But here's when I did use it in 2018 I was doing the celery juice by the medical medium to help my kidneys.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember at the time the doctors had said that I was really close to needing dialysis.
Mm.
And after doing that celery cleanse, it took me back to normal in less than 2 months.
Wow.
So,
That's
mhm,
amazing.
Let's go, Jason. I love it.
mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else is going on, ladies?
Oh my
Rev
goodness.
Cynthia, did you tell us what you're up to? What this week's been like? Because you had a thing, right? You had a
We
thing.
we had a thing. We had the conference here where it was a collaboration between some of the Agape folks, Unity and CSL. And so I got to meet ministers that I had never met before that were absolutely amazing. I got to see Reverend Carlton, Reverend Jason, Deb
Uh,
Barnes, the practitioner, came out, and it was hilarious because I didn't know that I was going to say what I said when I opened up my talk. And I told Willard, I'm like, this talk keeps morphing. It's been done for 3 weeks, and the talk just kept morphing up
uh-huh.
until the last minute. So when I got up on stage, I started with, I've always been a curious individual. And then I said, and it began with my belly button. And so you were like, what?
They'll get a laugh every time.
That's a fun way. That's
Belly
definitely
buttons and farts will get a laugh every time.
fun.
Oh my God. So we were like in stitches for about a minute.
Yes.
But it was almost like a very welcomed laughter, right? Because maybe it had
Yeah.
felt a little serious up until that point.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I gave myself permission to just like have fun.
Good. Good.
Yes.
It sounds like you had a great opening. And I remember one of my mentors that once said to me, if you get a great opening, the rest is all beauty. It's like, just get them with a great opening, get them into it. You're going to be fine. So make that opening and that closing. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you got a chance to hang out with Dr. Sydney,
I did.
my
And Dr.
senior
Nee,
minister.
she was hilarious as well.
I love it. Congratulations, Reverend Cynthia. I love you. That's amazing.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Reverend Julie, what you up to, girl?
So uh I have been experiencing a lot of like regulation this week that I'm quite interested in.
Mm.
I feel very emotionally regulated. I feel
Mm.
very calm. I feel a lot of grace, like almost angelic. And I've been looking at it like, what the heck? Um, and because I have a lot going on. And I'm thinking two things. One is it might be I'm speaking at the Agape International Spiritual Center on Sunday, so I'm really like
Yay.
in my discipline, like I am on my game. So, my spiritual practice, I'm really there and I'm in the silence a lot. So I'm sure that that's part of it. And another part of it is from our show last week, Skip,
Mm.
because one of the things that I had spoken about while you were doing your conference, Rev Cynthia, we did a show and it had a lot to do with like health and healing. And I mentioned that I had seen a documentary on fasting, and I was so
Mm.
excited about it. And so it was just showing what happens in our body when we take in less food. And
Yeah.
like the thing that I saw was extreme. It was like many days of fasting. But I started playing with that and giving myself more space, a longer space, like when I sleep, waiting up a little bit longer before eating. And I'm feeling like really clear and calm and energized. And so that's just like what's floating
Yeah.
around with me right now. I feel very like unruffled, like very,
Oh,
very zen.
I
And
love
so that's
that.
what I'm offering today is like a
Can
super regulated space.
and can I ask you a question about fasting? I don't know if he addresses this. When I go through long periods of fasting, I have this experience of nausea and
Hmm.
bile begins to come up, and it's a very uncomfortable experience. Was there any mention, because I'm going to watch this documentary because you've said this a few times, I need to go back and watch it. Is there any talk about what happens in that period of time? Because I've heard people talk about it. If we can get past that experience, then we start to feel the euphoria. Did they talk about that at all? About getting past
Yeah,
that
they
uncomfortable?
do. They do. And I know we said we were going to speak about fasting today, and then I got all excited about this topic. So come October, we're definitely going to do a
Right.
whole health and wellness thing. But they did address, and it's different for everybody. So everybody has a different flow with this, but
Okay.
it's like off gassing, it's like toxins leaving the body. So some people
Mm.
might get migraines. Some people get, everybody has a different experience. And so that's why it's great to do it in a place like I've done big fasts, 8-day fasts at
Oh
what's
my
the place down in
goodness.
San Diego?
Oh,
Uh,
Oh,
Optimum
very.
Health, the Optimum Health Institute. I've
mhm.
done big
Is
fasts
that with
there.
Deepak Chopra? Is that Deepak Chopra's place?
No,
Okay.
no, this is a different one. I think it's Optimum Health Institute, and I think it's in like Orange County, San Diego, something. Um, and and so to have other practices like they'll have meditation and breath work and
Mm.
all the things to really help work with it, but also I would do a program so that you are getting like there might be a couple days of potassium broth, which is when you
Yeah.
boil a bunch of vegetables and you don't eat the
Mm.
vegetables, which is so sad because you're so hungry, but you
Right.
drink the broth.
I
Yeah, but
love
there
that.
definitely are side effects, so it's great to like I like the idea of doing a kind of known program, and this guy is in Bali where you're going.
I know,
He's
right? And where Michael Beckwith is right now. Did y'all
That's
see he's
right.
in
Yeah,
Bali? I'm
he's
like,
doing a big
okay.
program right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So before we jump into our topic, Reverend Julie, I
of
know you're
course.
going to lead us today, but I want to acknowledge our Mary Ann. Mary Ann, I love you. I'm so grateful that you are here with us this morning. And she dropped in just to let us know that she was here. And also Hazel's here. Hey, Hazel, which is a long
Hey.
time viewer of the show. And thank you for your support. And everyone, please join in our conversation by dropping something into the feed and be a part of this experience. Welcome, y'all.
Absolutely.
Let's
And if
drop in.
replays are available, on our YouTube channel,
Absolutely.
so if you're not able to be there live, but we like it when you're live. That's fun.
Absolutely. You ready? Julie,
Yeah,
take us
yeah.
in.
Okay, so this got me super excited, and I was texting Rev Skip like, "Oh my gosh," because I have worked with so many people in counseling environments, and I've heard so many times, I'm waiting for my person. I'm looking for my person. Where is my person? I want my person, and it occurred to me like, you are your person and how the whole universe shifts. Maybe that's part of what this grace is, because I've been really focused on this topic this week. And so
Mhm.
all the ways where I would, like let go of myself some or leave myself some, I've been like doubling down on really, oh, I bet that's it. I've been really anchoring into the awareness that I am my person. And what does that mean?
Mm,
And what does that look like? And how does life shift when we
yeah.
decide, I'm I'm my person. I'm going to show up for me, right? So that's the topic, and um and what happens is when we become our person first, and I know we all know this, but such a good reminder. It's like the health thing we said last week. These are topics that I could go back to every month, every week, every minute, because it's so easy to forget. You know, I am my person. What does that look like? It looks like when I'm feeling nervous, when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling unsettled, I've started doing a practice where I kind of return to something that anchors me to that little version of me. I'm in a part of a group, and we call them our littles. This is my little. This is
Mm,
me as a
mm,
little girl, and I keep that picture, by my desk and around, and I remind myself like, we've had some rough road, but I'm becoming trustworthy to myself again. And so what does that look like? So just to kind of toss out the topic, what comes up for you when I even say you are your person? Does it feel selfish? Does it feel like foreign? Like, Rev Cynthia, what's up when you hear you are your person?
And it's been like a lifelong journey, right? Because I feel that we come into the world knowing that we're precious, right? Or not thinking that there's anything outside of us that is somehow not going to reflect that back to us. We start off, I think, just as like these bundles of love, right? And then things happen along the way that causes us to forget. And so it has been a long journey of remembering and becoming my person again. And I had like this almost mystical experience this morning as I was getting ready to come here. And I love that you said it's almost like a moment by moment, day by day practice that is required because of what happens in life. And so right now, I'm in a situation where it seems like somebody is coming in and trying to muscle in. And right. And so I'm getting ready and I'm thinking what I saw was the 9-year-old version of me, which is probably when I started to feel like the people that were supposed to support me were not being supportive.
Mm.
And it was so amazing because I'm getting ready for us to meet this morning for the podcast. And I look in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, that feels so good to know that you are not going anywhere, that you are going to stay here with me while I walk through this. And no matter what happens, we have each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
And the 9-year-old was just like, thank you.
I love that. I want to
Yeah.
drop one thing in here. Um, I had somebody say this to me a while back, and it really landed. When I feel
Mhm.
somebody muscling in, you know,
Mhm.
to make sure I have a strong auric edge. And I know you know about this, like you live this, but the reminder is like to make sure, because sometimes to be pleasing or to not create waves, I can be someplace and disappear. And
Mhm.
so this is part of choosing yourself, is like making sure I keep my energy bright and my auric edge strong, and I don't shrink it around other bigger voices or louder voices. So,
Mhm. I love that. Thank you for that reminder as well.
yeah, yeah. How about you, Rev Skip?
Yeah,
What
there
comes to
is
you?
this incredible book, and I'm going to really, invite everyone to get this book. It's called See the Soul by Gary Zukav. And for me, recently, I've been asking those questions. What is showing up authentically in any situation? Is it my soul or is it my personality? And my personality for me is really all about me and me, me, me. This hat is my personality. These glasses, my personality. My title's my personality. And I'm learning, and I heard this from our teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith from the Agape International Spiritual Center, founder and director, said this is that word self-love, we're not talking about the love of the outer self. We're talking about the love of the inner self. So I get those bases. What's showing up is the personality of the soul. What's showing up is my divine self-love. And from there, am I operating from a place of authenticity? Am I moving from a place, because there's only two things we're here to do in this world, for me, is to be a receiver of love and a giver of love. That's it. And everything else that I'm not doing is feeling like I'm in the midst of my personality. And that's the people, listen, trust me, this is like Reverend Cynthia says, this is a lifelong journey. And we get to use these tools to become aware what is showing up here in this space, my personality or my soul. And if you set the intention for me for the soul to show up, that's a whole new way I'm going to show up in any situation, including with myself. Some of us, we go directly to that. Oh, I want to find someone. Let me be my person. I love this title for today. Here's a thought. If you're looking to date somebody, ask yourself, would you date yourself? would you want to spend time with yourself? And if I go to my soul self, absolutely, I want to spend time with the divine expression of love that I am. But, if I'm in my personality, I wouldn't date my personality. My personality is very demanding. It's very needy sometimes, but it's just being aware. And these are the tools that we get to be aware around. This is great, great conversation, great topics here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so well put. I was in Koya Webb's virtual lifestyle design retreat last weekend, and she asked me a similar
Mm,
question about that difference between personality and soul. And what I noticed is when I'm in my ego or my personality, it is about me. And I have my insecurities and I have my, a lot of that chatter going on. And when I'm really what I'm describing today as being regulated, like when
yeah.
I'm really rooted in myself,
Hmm.
I feel magnanimous. I
That's it.
feel like I have enough because when I don't feel like I have enough, when I'm, locked down, when I feel fear, whatever, then I can constrict. But when I'm in this place, I feel like I'm a fountain. I feel all overflow. And so that's the space that I intend every time I step out on a stage. It would be a good idea if I did it like in daily life in all my relationships. And mostly right now, it's like when I get out on stage, it's how much can I get into that space of being the fountain,
Mm,
sharing, overflow. There's a lot of
mm,
grace to it. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking to. So that's a great point about becoming discerning. So that's the next step is when you get really discerning, am I in personality, ego, or am I well emotionally regulated? Am I really moving from my soul, my spirit in this moment? And what does it take to get there? Like, especially when you're not in that space, what does it take to get back? So part of the reason I'm feeling so much grace this week is I've been double downing. Like I am on my game with food and workouts and my spiritual practice and my spiritual inspiration
mm,
reading. And so it's really tending to all of these things. And I'm noticing in my nervous system, I feel
Mm-hmm.
different, coupled with having this theme so bubbled up is like, you are your person. You are your person. I feel like I spent a whole lifetime trying to find that other person that will
Mm-hmm.
fix me, heal me, save me, make me better. Like when I have an issue and I'm running around all over the place, going to all these experts, all these healers, the best of the best. And like, no, I wish Glinda the Good Witch with a magic wand could come and tap me. But at this point, like we all know the things. We have so much education. We have so much awareness. And it's like embodiment. It's time for embodiment. And so one of the things that comes up for me when I think about you are your person is to take a moment and look at how often do I leave myself? That's an interesting phrase. I don't know if you've ever really thought of it that way before, but that phrasing, that
Mm-hmm.
I leave myself, what does that even mean? It means that there are times I don't say what I want to say. I don't do what I want to do. I don't eat or drink what I want to eat or drink. There are times I leave myself. If I'm out in a social situation, there are times I leave myself so that I don't make waves, to make things easier, to not have to deal with a hard conversation. And it's like chipping away pieces of my soul every
mm,
time I do that. So I wanted to put that piece out. Like, what is it like? Are you aware of when you leave yourself? And how does that out picture for you all? For me, it shows up in relationship a lot. Like if, especially in my relationship with my husband, if I don't want to like make a wave, it's very easy for me to just go along
mm,
sometimes. Um, but in the long run, and we've been together for such a long time now that now we both know it's better just to say the thing with
Mm-hmm.
kindness, with love as much as possible, but it's better just to say the thing. So yeah. How do you know when you leave yourself? What does that look like for you? And are you aware of it?
For me, there's a visceral feeling. it's almost like a sense of dread that begins to like grow within my chest. And there's an awareness in my mind, like, there you go again. Like, stop that.
Yeah. What does it feel like to you? What's the feeling?
So the feeling feels like dread. Anytime
Dread.
that I step away from like my own center, my own core, my attention is going off of me and onto somebody else. It feels like fear starts to course through my veins. It feels awful. Like energy's dropping. The room's getting cold. It's getting dark. It's like,
Yeah. I feel
right?
like my chest deflates some. Like I have a physical sort of like, screwed it up again. Like yeah. So you
And
definitely have an awareness. And at this point, are you how quick is your turnaround point at this point? Like how often do you just let it go and just keep, like leaving yourself, and how quickly do you return?
it actually seems like the last couple of months have been an intense focus on staying with me. So and I think it's just because it's time to shift that. And I had to learn how to stay with me, but still be flexible enough
Mm,
to hear other people's perspectives and opinions, but without abandoning me,
Mhm.
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Which can create a world that works for all when we come at it from that perspective.
Right.
So, and it's interesting to watch people because they're not used to this version of me. In fact,
Yeah.
my sister has said, "You're always changing." And it's like,
Yeah. And then
right.
I've noticed there are times when like I'll get like I left myself, I agreed to do something I didn't want to do recently. And then I got this very empowered feeling, and like I went back to the person and I said, "You know what? I really don't want to do that." And I was shocked because I felt so congruent and aligned that I thought like
Mhm,
obviously it's just not going to happen now because I'm speaking my truth, right? And they were like, "Oh no, it's happening." And I thought, "Oh, that's interesting." Like I think the growing, because I had committed to something. The growing edge for me is just to speak my truth, because I felt better saying the thing. Like it
mhm,
feels better to say the thing, but I don't have control over how others will respond. That's the
Mm.
piece I wanted to say. I don't have, and it was like a little bit of a shock because I thought like this feels really good to me. And I said it, and it was like, oh, it didn't feel good to them. But still, just the saying it, this is the big part. Sometimes I can have an argument with somebody and we don't even resolve it, but just the fact that we spoke it out, we both feel
mhm.
better.
Mhm.
And that's a way of not leaving myself that's new for me. How about you, Rev Skip?
So what I do know for me is not about what I'm feeling at the moment, it's what I'm not feeling. When I'm
Mm,
in my authentic self, it's a full body yes. A yes is a yes. And I believe the only way we can really know if we're in alignment with ourself is to know, what does the self feel like? What does that divine authenticity feel like when you are making, even, choosing, your dinner, or choosing time you want to spend with people, or being of service? What does a full body yes feel like? So what are the characteristics of a full body yes for me? Is peace. I can breathe. I'm clear headed. I feel enthusiastic. I'm inspired. There's a feeling of passion there, even when it's coming down to simple things of, do I want to go to a movie, or do I want to do this? A full body yes is very, very clear. And when I don't get the full body yes, for me, it's time for contemplation. It's time for me to go within, and it's time for me to take a moment. I learned this earlier on in my Baptist upbringing, actually. Let your yes be a yes, let your no be a no. And that
uh-huh.
is from the Old Testament. Let your yes be a yes. My mom used to say, is be a man of your word. So I learned that as if I need to have a little discernment time before I say yes. Before I
Mm,
say yes. And even if it's not what I want to do, am I able to drop into that space full heartedly? Because sometimes we go, like you were talking about, sometimes we'll just go, yeah, I'll do it, and not be fully full heartedly to step into a space. And if I'm not 100% in, even if it's not what I want to do, it's not going to go well. And I've already know this in how I experience. And what I mean, not the situation always goes well because God's in control, however it shows up. But when my own energy doesn't feel at peace, it doesn't go well for me. And that's as simple as I can get. What does my full body yes look like?
Yeah, I so relate to that. I want to give a shout out to, is it Mosen? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your comments. Glad you're with us. Yeah. And I think it's time for a commercial break, but I want to go a little further. There's another thought that came to me about what happens when I leave myself and I still have to do the thing that I didn't want to do. I want to loop back to that because there's a really important piece there. And then maybe we'll have some experiences with your little. We'll like rebuild that relationship with that little one inside of ourselves so that we become really trustworthy to ourselves.
Hey, everybody, you're here at the New Thought Media Network. This is the High Vibe Hour. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you passionate about media, storytelling, and making a difference? Welcome to New Thought Media Network, where your voice matters. We amplify diverse voices and share impactful stories. Join us in our mission. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creativity and community, looking for enthusiastic volunteers who want to be part of something bigger, learn, grow, and collaborate in various aspects of media production. Incredible support and camaraderie await you here. Your contributions will help us create powerful content that resonates with audiences and drives social change.
Ready to make a difference? Visit our website www.ntmedia.org to learn more about volunteer opportunities and how you can get involved.
Find our volunteer inquiry under the Engage tab on our website, or visit www.ntmedia.org/volunteer. We look forward to connecting with you soon.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Cynthia, Rev Julie, and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to the New Thought Media Network. This is the High Vibe Hour. And just a reminder, I never finished to get this announcement out. I want to just make sure everyone knows this is a ministry, and you can support this movement of the New Thought Media Network just by going to ntmedia.org/donate. And as you give, it helps us to be sustainable on this network to getting the good news out there and the work we're doing. And we're having a great, rich conversation about finding you. Finding you.
Yes. I just started giggling to myself because you were talking about juicing, and I had greens like all at the bottom of my water that had collected. So if I smile and I have green in my teeth or something,
There
y'all
you
got to
go.
shout it out. You got to tell me, okay?
That's what friends do. That's what friends do.
Okay.
So, Reverend Julie, you
So
had something for us. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So we were talking about what happens when you leave yourself, and what that means and what that looks like, and it could be a feeling of dread or some deflation, or it could just be an awareness that there is not alignment, there is not that like big yes that comes up. And sometimes um I wanted to give an example of what I do if I have left myself, but I still have to do the thing I don't want to do, like the example that I just gave. So I make sure that I consciously choose it. Instead of going along like a victim, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I agreed to do something. I changed my mind and didn't want to do it, but I still need to do it. But what are there parameters around it? Can I do this part of it, but not that part of it? And I make that agreement, and I decide like I'm choosing this. And I don't know if that lands well for you, but there's a very big difference to me when um, when I feel like a victim, like I have to do something, and when I give it a great big yes and say, I'm in, I'm showing up. Does that land for either of you? Are those
It
listening?
does.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Reverend.
Yeah, it's like that. It's that next step of consciously saying, this may not be what I want, and I'm choosing to do it. And maybe there's some boundaries I'm going to set up around it.
And I think it was in 2018, after doing a counseling session, and as someone that up until that point, her yeses would come flying out of her mouth before she even uh, allowed for this conscious choosing to take place. And so they shared an exercise with me at the time for me to begin to access my yeses and my nos. So, and to interrupt that pattern of automatically saying yes. So, as I would be getting ready for the event, I would check in with myself. Is this still a yes for me? And if I got a yes, then I would finish getting ready. And then there would be like a process of 3 check-ins. As I'm picking up the things that I'm going to need for the event. Is this still a yes for me? And if it was, I would continue. And I was to ask one more time. And it would be when I would place my hand on the doorknob to leave for the thing that I had said yes to. Is this still a yes for you? And if I got a no, I was supposed to give myself permission to back away from the door, go take my clothes off, put my things down, let them know I wasn't coming.
That is huge. That is so huge. I have something built inside of me. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I do it come hell or high water. Like, so that notion is foreign to me. And it reminds me of this moment when my kid was little and we were having like a mother's gathering, and it was important. Like there was something that the mothers from the class needed to meet for. And there's this one woman, she lives way up in Topanga, which is up in the mountains. It's way far away. She's in the middle of nature. And she sent us a text message at the time that the meeting was supposed to start. And she was like, I won't be able to make it today. It's just too beautiful a morning. And God
Exactly.
bless her. I couldn't relate to it. I was like, if you gave a yes, how do you not do that? So the fact that you would give yourself permission to that, would it be scary? Like when you would go and take the clothes off and you're canceling, would that be scary for you?
Yes, my nervous system would be throwing a hissy fit. Like, what are you doing? You're letting people down, and it's like you're letting you down all the time too. Do you know that?
Did it end up feeling like a victory inside of you? Were you able to get past the like scary part to be like, whew, look what I just did.
Especially
Like I showed up for me.
right, because it's tied into being accepted, being loved, right? And if I show up authentically, are people still going to love me?
That's powerful.
Yeah,
Really
wow.
powerful.
That's super powerful. And the more we do it, the reason why we're even discussing it is the more that you become your person, that you choose you, it
Mhm.
builds up this inner trust, and everything is energy, everything is frequency. So the energy that we emit out in the universe I'm thinking of you, Rev Skip, because I know you're starting
Hmm.
to date. I think everything we do, that energy that goes out into the universe, it just keeps up leveling. It just keeps, because
Mhm.
you're bringing somebody in
Yeah.
at your same energetic frequency. How's this
Yeah,
land for you?
I think, part of it, and from my greatest teacher I've never met yet, and one day I will meet, Oprah Winfrey. She said at every pitch meeting, when she had a shift from her show that was less tabloidish to more inspiration, they would come and they would pitch a show, and Oprah would say, "What is your intention? What is the intention for what you're doing?" And I believe that is giving me that power to realize what's my intention for my yes. The other three phases you got to remember: this is not in alignment with me at this time. It's
Mm,
okay to say it's going to happen maybe later on.
yeah.
And then if you're in the midst of it and you realize this wasn't my full body yes, you can actually be honest in saying, this was a great experience. I'm so grateful I've done it this time, which
Hmm.
gives the signal to yourself that you experienced this. And
Right.
the other term, again, what is seeking to emerge from this experience for me to be more authentic? Those are the key check-ins for me about if I'm in the midst of something, or if I need to shift out of something or into something else. I have the freedom to do. This is a great experience. It might not have been what I will choose again or what I wanted to choose, but I'm in it. So what am I here to learn from it?
Yes. And that keeps us out of victim mode and in an empowered
Yeah,
stance. Can you
Mhm.
just say
absolutely.
those 3 questions again? Can you just like
Yeah, no, the three things that you want to be able to give yourself permission is: what is my intention? When you say
Mhm.
yes, and when you say yes, create an intention about what you're doing.
Mm.
And then if it's a full body no, or if because it could come around again, the words you can say is, right now, this is not a yes in alignment with me. Right now, it's not in alignment. And then when you are in the midst of something and you're finding yourself, maybe this is not for the highest intention, your words are, what is seeking to emerge? What am I here to learn about myself in the midst of this? That can help you get through, because we've all been in a place where we've been asked to serve. And we get there and we're like, okay, this is really getting on my last nerve. But what are you going to do with, and it's not your last nerve, but there's this something that's seeking is a beautiful lesson here to be learned. And that's a simple way of keeping it really in alignment. Even if you're doing something you feel that you don't want to do, how do you make it in alignment with yourself?
Yes. Oh, that's
Mm.
really rich. Let's take a moment and just sink into that for a moment and just the invitation is to become aware right now. What is your intention? For whatever it is that's currently on your plate, what is your intention? I'm just inviting everybody to become aware. What is my intention at this moment, at this season in my life? What is my intention? And notice when you say what it is that is your current intention, does it feel like alignment? Does it feel like that full bodied yes that Reverend Skip mentioned? Do you deflate or inflate when you think of your intention? Does it feel in alignment? There's sometimes that I want something or I intend to do something because I think I should, because I think I should be that kind of person or I should have that kind of career. But what feels like it's in soul alignment with you right now? So when you become aware, what is my intention? And that's a big question. You can just, for life, for this moment in your life, what is my intention right now? And does that feel in alignment with me? Does that resonate? Do I rise to it? Is it a yes? And then you can also see in this moment what's seeking to emerge. What aspect of yourself wants to be revealed? What's ready to unfold as you? In this way, we become so deeply empowered with the journey of our own life. So I just wanted to sink into that for a moment. I thought those were such rich points and questions that you brought up,
Yeah.
Rev Skip.
And one
And I
one other thing too, I want to bring up
please,
the word intention, that I believe that we are here to really have a new experience with intention. Intention, people use it in a way of what are you intending to do? But if we go into deeper teaching of intention, if we go to Wayne Dyer's book, The Power of Intention, intention is not something that we are intending to do. It's the source power we use to create the experience we want. So when we're setting an intention, Wayne Dyer invites us to look at it. We're setting into what he has 7 phases of intention, which is love, beauty, creativity, abundance, expansion, kindness, compassion, and we have many more. He's talking about the faces of how spirit shows up. If we choose one divine energy or source power, like say, my intention is love, I'm going to set an intention to be here to experience love, versus, oh, I'm setting the intention to show up on time. Why are you showing up on time? What do you experience by you showing up on time? What else are you going to tap into? Could it be compassion, kindness? So setting the intention is a little bit deeper than saying, oh, this is what I intend to do. How about what am I intending to share?
Hmm.
beautiful. What am I intending to share? Yeah. So by you having or doing or being the thing that you most want, how does it become a contributor? How does it become a give back? How are you giving from the overflow? How do you become a fountain? Right? Rev Cynthia, great
Mhm.
revelation. Thanks, Hazel. So I know we've got a couple minutes left. I thought it'd be nice to get a quick hit of tuning in to that child version of yourself, to just reconnect. This is a way that we get to choose ourself, like choosing me, because life happens and there are a lot of ways that, everybody's like just hunkered down. It's like every man for himself or something inside of myself. And so just to take a moment, and I invite you to take a nice easy breath in and see if you can get an image in your mind's eye of yourself as a little kid. What did you used to love to do? What kind of play did you play? Were you inside or outside? Were you a tomboy? Were you a nature kid? Were you in your room drawing or building? Or what was, get an image of yourself as a little kid. And if you feel like it, imagine that this adult version of you, the adult version of you that has been through a thing or two at this point, comes in and maybe sits a couple feet away from that little kid version of you for a minute, and just allow yourself to be in that overflow. Let your intention right now to be all those qualities that Rev Skip just mentioned, to simply be the presence of love and kindness and care and compassion. And maybe that little kid version comes over and maybe they sit close to you. They may want to plop right down in your lap. And if it feels right, you could scoop them up in a big hug if it feels good. And just let that little version of you know, I got you. Like, we are going on a ride here. We're going to go, it's like a roller coaster. It's going to go up and down and all over the place. We're going to go all over the place. And I just want you to know I've got you, and I'm with you, and I will be with you. And maybe you could place a hand over your chest or your heart and let yourself feel the little hand of that little one. And maybe the two of you can make a pact. We're going to do this together. And we're going to find joy in this. We're going to find ways to have fun, and we're going to stumble and fall and skin our knees, and we're going to get right back up again. It may take a little time periodically, but just this is a beginning moment. I want you to know I've got you, and feel how that feels. And Rev Cynthia or Rev Skip, if you want to jump in and like add anything, you may.
The funny thing is that it's the younger version telling the 54-year-old, no, honey, I got you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna open up a conference talking about my belly button. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Oh my God. But the funny thing too is that when I look at both versions, there isn't much of a difference. What I remember about me as a kid was being a tomboy, also loving like interior creative processes, being a designer, and loving without, there just wasn't judgment that was present. And it's like, gosh, and I still want to be that way now. I still love to like have my hands in all kinds of different pots. I love being outdoors. I love being indoors. And I want to go back to being able to love and not have so much judgment be present, whether it's of self or others or the world in general. So I'm glad that she gave me a glimpse of my origin, knowing that I can get back to living that way.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Mm,
That's really
it's
sweet.
beautiful. It's
Dina, I see
beautiful.
you. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying this wisdom. How about you, Rev Skip? What's that? And we just did a little taster. What was that like for you?
Yeah, again, yes, Dina, hey, good to see you. Part of this is really allowing yourself to be loved. Just be loved. Just be loved. Because part of this finding yourself, it's that place of us, and I've heard this teaching, and I don't know who said it, so it's mine. I'll take it. The part of your ego is that little child that needs to be loved.
Mhm.
Just love and be loved. And it's okay. That's what we're here to do. So I'm hearing that now. Just be loved. It's
Mm.
okay.
Yeah. And then I am a tools and practices kind of gal. So I like
Mhm.
having kind of techniques to work with or a tool. And one of the things that I have been working with a lot the last couple of weeks is I did a practice with my littles. So I invite you, get a little picture of yourself as a little kid, and you can journal to her, you can, or him, or they, whatever, you can talk to them. You can just kind of develop a bit of a relationship, a connection. And then I would put my hand over like my heart or my chest or a certain place, and it's kind of anchored to my connection with the little me. So when
Mhm.
I go into a situation where I feel nervous or I feel afraid or I feel anger or whatever the feelings are, jealousy, insecurity, I put my hand there and it reminds me like I'm not leaving myself. I'm not going to
Yeah.
leave myself again. This is scary. I don't like
Mhm.
this. In the past, I would check out or numb out or freeze or take flight, but I'm going to stay here. This feels scary, but we're together. Like I do a lot of speaking with that inner child of me, that little one
Mhm.
that got hurt, and then just kind of washed her hands of relationships or love or the world or whatever. I'm like rebuilding that connection. And so that's something I wanted to offer is as you move forward, I know we're coming to a close soon, to find ways to keep anchoring in, if it's helpful to you, to that younger version of you, that kid version of you, and let them
Yeah.
know, like, I got you. I got you.
So I'm going to put you right on the hot seat right now. It's time for the vibe insight. What are you taking away from this conversation, Reverend Julie?
That what I'm doing is working. That what I'm doing is working, and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Reverend
about you?
Cynthia, what is your vibe insight, Reverend Cynthia?
I just realized right now that the soul knows nothing about time, and that we can go back to these different moments where we
Mm.
left ourselves and pick ourselves up and bring them into the fold so that we can sense and feel into our wholeness.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
My vibe insight, my takeaway from this experience is continue to find your yes. And as I grow more wiser in this time, the less I know. Therefore, my authentic yes is shifting because I'm shifting, and be okay with the shift. That's what I'm taking away from this. So I
Beautiful.
wanted to give some time, because I know Reverend Julie, you are up this week. Where are you speaking? This is so exciting. You're going to be speaking
Thank
where?
you. I'm so excited. I'm speaking at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. You can catch us at agapelive.com or on Agape's YouTube channel. And I think the first service starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the next one starts at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. So I would love for you to tune in and share and let folks know. Thank you.
And I want to say, here's my word of endorsement. When Reverend Julie touches that stage at Agape on a Sunday morning, she lights the place on fire. Do not miss. Do not miss. Do not miss. And it's so interesting because the reason Reverend Julie, well, not the reason, she's fabulous, but Michael Beckwith is in Bali. So Reverend Cynthia, you just got back from Bali. Reverend Michael's in Bali, and I'm going to Bali in March. So Bali's the place to be, y'all.
Yeah,
And
do you
speaking
still
of
have
that,
spaces available? Rev
yeah,
Skip,
I
do you
think
still have spaces on your trip?
I have spaces available, but so does Michael. Michael was on Instagram saying yesterday, maybe you want to be adventurous and jump on it and come out for the conference. I'm like, so check out Michael Beckwith Instagram, find out how you can get to Bali if you want to go. I can't imagine, but see, that's just me. It takes me a lot of planning to get to Bali. And speaking of that, y'all, you have a chance to go to Bali with me in March 14th to the 27th in 2026. You can go to my website, click on the Bali retreat. You'll get more information. And Reverend Cynthia, how can people find you and get in touch with you? What's the story?
So CynthiaAmbriz.org, and we just opened up our Bali retreat as well, which will take place July 5th through the 16th of next year, 2026. And this weekend, I will be heading out to spend a weekend with the girls. This location will not be disclosed. There will be no photos. No.
Wow. So you just staying in Vegas. That's what you do. You're just staying in Vegas. That's what you're doing.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
so
Yeah,
funny.
giving myself some time with my friends and just some downtime,
Great.
some fun time. Yeah.
I love it. And I would be amiss if we didn't talk about the beautiful writings that comes out of you ladies. First book up, we have Reverend Cynthia's book. Speak a little bit about your book. What is this book all about?
So this book was actually like a memoir of what I walked through, what I healed through. And I wanted to share it because sometimes people can't seem to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
And so it's meant to inspire, right? To let you know that you've got this.
Beautiful. And Reverend Julie, what's your what? What is the what? What's the what? What's the what?
It's about clarifying and activating your uniqueness. And I have a lot of tools and practices in there, as well as stories about how we can rig our lives so they pay us silent inspirational dividends, so that we don't have to do all the heavy lift. There are a lot of things we can do about the way we live our lives, what's around us, and the practices we have throughout the day to get clear about who we are and then be it.
I love it. I
How
love
about you?
it. Yeah, no, the little book for big transformations came out right before the pandemic, and it's still available. But working on the next book is 10, transform in 10 steps for thriving at 50 and beyond. And we're just working out kind of what the book's going to look like. Right now, we're starting the audio recording. So the process hopefully will be out by the end of the year. And I know that everything that we're talking about right now is in the program notes, how you can get the books, how you can connect with each and every one of us for your spiritual, development and growth. We are here for you. This is a great show. I am so grateful I get to find us together. I get to find me with you and you with me. This is very awesome. Great show. Great show. All right, y'all.
Thank you, guys.
This has been wonderful. Don't forget to tune in next week because transformation is a choice and you can choose today. And you did. Love y'all. Peace and blessings. We'll see you next week.